All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to CAGcast episode number 765. I'm your host, GPD, here in Long Island, New York. And as always, we're joined by a man who I forgot what I was going to say. So just fill in the blank.
Really?
Yeah.
You were so confident going in.
Yeah, it wasn't that good. That's why I write things down.
I guess. I'm a little disappointed.
I got to push a lot of buttons before the show starts. Between the time where I come up with something right before the show,
I'll
and
tell
then
you
when I
what
say
buttons
it,
you push.
yours love buttons?
It's my love button.
Your nipples, you mean?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
This is hot. The show's getting hot.
Already. It's
Yes.
CAGcast After Dark.
Welcome to the show, everybody. Hot time in the summer in the city.
Oh, it is hot. Hot.
And we just got back from, Shipwreck and I got back from separate vacations.
Mm-hmm.
Not
Well,
the
that's how
same.
you guys grow closer. You take separate vacations, and then when you
come back,
home-
we appreciate each other more. Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't think that's what was behind it.
You
I was-
keep telling yourself that.
So the question that all the listeners want to know
Mhm.
was the 25 hours of Marvel movies worth watching to prepare for the 90 seconds of rides?
Well, it was more than 90 seconds of ride. So we went to Disneyland, right? The California version of Disneyland.
What's the
Because-
difference between Disneyland and Disney World? I don't know the answer to that, and I've been embarrassed to ask until
Okay,
now.
so Disney World is the Florida version.
Is that the better one?
I wouldn't say it's the better one necessarily. They're all
It's
good.
big. It's bigger.
Okay.
Like so much big. It's two Manhattans put together is how big Disney World is.
That's a lot of Manhattans.
Florida.
It has Epcot. It has whatever the
Animal Kingdom. It's got
whatever they
Hollywood
call
Studios.
Yeah, Hollywood Studios. So
See,
it
I
has
didn't even
the-
know that was a thing. There's something called Hollywood Studios.
Yeah, that's where the Aerosmith roller coaster is.
That's not a thing.
It's definitely a thing.
That not only is that a thing, it's one of the best roller
The
coasters.
rock and
I've
roller
ever been on.
coaster.
Yeah,
There's an Aerosmith roller coaster.
Yeah, they
Mhm.
take you to their concert.
yeah, and you there's
The
like a
cars
little
look like
movie.
limousines.
Yeah,
You've
That's-
never ridden?
I never even heard of that. And I'm Aerosmith. Well, I'm not anymore, but I know
You got to get
Aerosmith.
it's worth a trip just for that because they're gonna probably turn it into like some Marvel thing at some
Ed
point.
Sheeran's
when we
Wild
went
Ride.
to Hollywood Studios, my daughter was much younger, and they have this like go take a ride through the years of Hollywood, and at one point you go through a tunnel that's from Alien, and the xenomorph pops down from the ceiling. And to my daughter, all she knew she didn't know what an alien was or Alien the movie. She just knew it was space movie and assumed it was Star Wars. And she did not watch. She still refuses to watch Star Wars because she was scared by the alien from Alien when she was 5.
I thought you were going to say the alien looked like Steven Tyler,
No.
and that's why she was confused.
Anyway, I will let Shipwreck talk about his fabulous vacation.
Yeah. So Disneyland's the original,
Got it.
right? Like that one started first. There's two parks there. They have Disneyland and California Adventure. They're right next to each other. It's much smaller. It's a lot easier to get around. Like we stayed at the Disneyland hotel that's there on property. So everything's like walkable, right? A good walkable of like 8 to 10 miles a day of walking around the parks.
Right.
No, it was a lot of fun. Like I had not been to any of the Disney parks that had the Star Wars Galaxy Edge. Had not been to one of those yet.
So they
That
both
is-
have that, right?
Both World and Disneyland have that, and then Disneyland Paris is in process of building that as well.
Tokyo doesn't have it.
But Disneyland has a bigger Marvel section, though, doesn't it?
Disneyland has Avengers Campus,
Mhm.
which is also going in Disneyland Paris. I don't know. I haven't been to Disney World to know if they've stuck all the Marvel stuff somewhere yet.
So how was Avengers Campus?
Let's talk about Star Wars first.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I
This-
didn't mean to ruin your
The
flow.
Star Wars area is the most ridiculous theme park area ever. Like you've been to Tokyo Disney, GP, and you know how like it's just like over the top, like themed everywhere, and it's just like so much
It
detail.
looks like money. It looks like money. You look at that and you go, holy shit, that must have cost so much money to make that.
Yes, but it's like, yeah, you turn a corner and oh, here's the Millennium Falcon, like just sitting here, like among this like complete like Star Wars town, like
Right.
and it goes on for like quite a bit, right? Like you can walk around in Star Wars for a while, and there's only 2 rides there. They're both really good. One of them you get to pilot the Millennium Falcon. You get a crew of 6, right? So 2 people get to be the pilots, 2 get to be gunners, and 2 get to be engineers.
How can they be 2 pilots? Someone's controlling left and right, and someone's controlling up and down.
Why don't you ask Han
Somebody's controlling left
Solo
and
and
right.
Chewbacca?
Somebody controlling up and down and the warp speed,
Okay.
the warp drive.
I
So
feel like we could cut costs and have 1 pilot, but okay, I'll allow it. Today's fast-paced world, we got to keep those costs low.
So it's just ridiculous. Like we went into the cantina, we had like reservations to go have drinks and snacks at the cantina. Had some blue milk.
Do they play the music when you're in the cantina?
So there is the old robot pilot from Star Tours, the original Star Wars ride. He is now no longer the pilot when they replaced him with C-3PO years ago. He is now the DJ in the cantina. And so he plays like Cheapy's beep boop remixes of like the cantina music. And there's like all this original, like,
so is it like
club music that's like Star Wars themed, but not like, oh, here's the Imperial March like clubbed up. It's like, no, this is like unique music that they're playing.
So
That's
is
very
it
Star Wars-y.
jizz? Do they play jizz?
I told my kids this is jizz.
Okay, good. I want to make sure that you're using the right words.
Yeah, no, it's definitely jizz. And
You
then
said jizz as much as possible, right? You just kept saying jizz.
I just
like every...
yeah, they can't stop you.
This is some
When you're
hot
in Star
jizz.
Wars, that's the only place in Disneyland where you can just say jizz as much as you want.
You can just, as long as you're there, you can be like, I love jizz.
You can like be having one foot up into Frontierland, and then the other foot in Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, and you can just say jizz all you want. They're watching you just to see me put that foot down.
I just imagine you sitting around your table enjoying your snacks, talking very loudly to your kids, asking them if they're enjoying the hot jizz, just making sure that everybody hears jizz as much as possible. And you go, no, what? What do you mean? It's jizz? And then you explain it to them, and then they get you arrested.
I'm sure the people that work there have never heard these jokes.
No,
I mean the other guests. The other guests.
I
People that work there must be sick of it all. Sick of it, just sick of it all. Like, I mean, I'm sick of it all,
jizz.
and I haven't been there.
You need to go. You need to go.
It's too much Star Wars, man. Like, they
It's
ruined
only
it.
2 rides. And Rise of the Resistance is the other ride.
Yeah.
And it is the most insane. Like, if you thought they spent money elsewhere,
Right.
like that, you just got to be thinking dollar signs the entire time. Like,
Right.
it's like 2 different rides. Like, you get on, you walk in, they're like, oh, we're going to be taking off with, I don't remember if it was Akbar or, I can't tell. They all look the same. All that race. looks the
Racist.
same.
Those squids? You're saying all
Yeah,
squids look the
They all
same?
look the same.
Mon Calamari, yes.
Yes, Mon Calamari. That
Great
almost
name.
seems racist too to call them that.
Yes.
But you like get on like a little, like, I don't know, a little cruiser with him, right? Like he's taking you somewhere for the Resistance, and you're like standing up in that, like you're like on a subway
Okay.
car type of thing.
Yeah.
And you're flying along, and then that gets, I don't know, it gets shot down or captured or whatever, and then like the doors open up, and there's like Resistance guys outside, like saying like, "Come on, we gotta go!"
Right,
and
real
like,
actors.
you're like, yeah, actors there, and you're like, okay, I'm gonna run to the next part of this ride.
That's cool.
It's cool. And then you get to the next part of the ride, and you do all that stuff, and it's really good.
I feel like the other guests would annoy me, though.
Did you go on the giant Ferris wheel?
Yes, I did not throw up. Mrs. Shipwreck nearly did.
I don't think I could handle that. That's why I asked.
So
I
the
could
giant
probably
Ferris
handle
wheel-
every other ride there, but that.
The giant Ferris wheel. There's ones where the cars are just stay still, right? Like a normal Ferris wheel. And this is in California Adventure. But then there's other cars in it, containers, people, cages, whatever they're called, that are hanging on basically like roller coaster wheels, right? They're on a track. And then the track itself is, do you remember the He-Man attack tracks, I think was the name of that vehicle?
I had that.
Mhm.
Yeah. So it looks kind of like that, like a triangular shaped with rounded ends. And so like as you're going around this Ferris wheel, your entire car is swinging around that shape.
Barf.
No, thank you.
But yes, Avengers Campus, they played like the Avengers music the entire time you're in there.
So you're
like
so pumped
nonstop.
up. You're so pumped
you're
up.
So pumped up the entire time.
I gotta punch something. I gotta punch something. Come on. Where are the aliens? Somebody say something. Somebody cut in line. I'm gonna fucking punch you right in the face. Was that where the other guests behaved well, or did you see any shenanigans?
Except for there was like one guy that like the Black Panther guard, the Dajlami, whatever that they call those.
The Dora Milaje?
I
Okay.
don't. Yeah, Dora Milaje. I don't know. Blah 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 blue.
The blonde,
coming
the
out-
blonde lady, the bald ladies.
Yeah, the bald
Yes.
ladies.
Yeah, just say that.
They were coming out and doing like a little show, right? They're like teaching you how to do self-defense or like learn how to fight like them and everything. So there's a bunch of like kids, right? Like that are up there doing it. Like my kids are up there like punching around and it's fun and everything. And then there's just like this one guy that's just like constantly making like the gorilla sounds.
No.
Like that they make
No.
he was an African American gentleman, but he was like really into like the show, like character wise. But like he was like talking over them. So like then they got into character and like had to like talk him down.
He was too excited. He was too excited. Okay.
Too
okay.
excited.
Okay. I
Like
think.
just like shouting
I
out.
was
Like,
Yeah.
just going in a whole other direction for a
Same.
second.
Same.
Yeah.
Just somebody
But-
who was too excited, and you're like,
Okay.
sir, you're not part of the show, sir. You're just good watching
That's
over here.
better. I feel better about this situation now. Are there any rides there?
There's Spider-Man's Web Slingers, which is fantastic. We rode that 3 times, I think. That was
Is that a
Ash's favorite ride.
dark ride or a roller coaster?
It's a dark ride. It's on one of those like magnetic tracks. That's how they do a lot of this stuff now. So it goes in different directions. And then you're shooting spider bots, it tells a whole story there. But you don't have guns or anything. You're just making the Spider-Man motions with your hands. And it's shooting out webs
It
and hitting
knows.
things.
More money.
Yes, it
More
knows.
so much money.
And you can pull things. Like you can grab onto things and pull them with your webs.
Right.
And then they have Guardians of the Galaxy, which is what they turned Tower of Terror into. So it's all Guardians of the Galaxy themed, which is fantastic. And then we also got to see opening weekend of Rogers the Musical while we were there, which everyone knows came from the Hawkeye show. Everybody remember that?
That's a good show, the Hawkeye show.
The musical is good. So that was part of we needed to watch 25 movies worth of things as
Right.
well. So get
It all
understand
paid
Rogers
off.
the Musical. It all paid off. Fantastic. The only cheap I told you about this briefly, but when you're at Disneyland, you still see like there's not as many, but you still see the guys with like the black t-shirts with the black American flags on and like talking about how much they love guns and freedom and family and stuff.
Right.
Like at Disneyland. Like it's like, couldn't you just take the day off? Like there was a guy like with Winnie the Pooh who was holding like an AK-47 and it said like get strapped or get clapped.
I don't even know what that means.
We were in a
I think it means that if you don't wear a condom, you're going to get an STD.
See, that's helpful though. That I would approve of.
right.
Yeah, I know.
But we were in a like
It's Disney.
we were in Disneyland, but not only were we in Disneyland,
Right.
we were in a reservation breakfast thing, like where you meet characters, right? Like Winnie the Pooh is literally there to be met at this restaurant. And this guy's got a shirt with Winnie the Pooh holding the AK-47.
What did Winnie the Pooh have to say about that?
I'm pretty.
I think he said, "Oh,
guarantee that guy had
bother."
to turn his shirt inside out or change it or something.
You think so?
I think so. I think so. Like you can wear the gun shirts. I don't think that Disney's okay with you giving Winnie the Pooh a gun and walking around the park with it.
See, that's why I can't go to any of these places. It would bother me.
We only had one other incident where we got to see some backstage areas of Space Mountain
Okay.
because when we got on, the people that got on ahead of us were causing a scene. And so they got on.
Ooh. First of all, what's the scene?
So they were holding up the line and they were trying to like they were trying to like swap out people like that were on the other side of the train, like in the exit and get on. And then they had like a kid that was like too small really to be riding, but they were
they were trying to get like
him.
like a good seat, like a front seat or something. Who knows?
I don't know what was going on with them, but
Meth.
we got on and like, then they pulled like the guy like pulled the train over to the side. Like as we were pulling out, there's like a little area that they're like, nope, you go over to this area. And,
okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a guy working there. Push some button to switch the tracks to the the other side of the tracks.
Yeah. So we got to walk through a little behind the scenes area to get back onto a train again.
Do you have to wait online again, or like?
No, it was straight to the front of the line.
Did they take this guy to Disney jail?
It was a woman, and I don't know. I just heard them when we saw them when we left, like out. They were like down below or whatever, and they were talking about it or whatever, and all the workers were talking about how she was like recording everything and.
You mean after she got pulled aside, she started recording everything in true Karen form.
Mm-hmm.
Behave badly,
right,
and claim the victim after.
It's just like, wait, just calm down. Like you're in Disneyland. Like,
right, you're gonna get on the ride. It's gonna be fine.
How were the lines, by the way?
Not bad.
Okay, that I was gonna say. It doesn't sound like you weren't able to go on anything. So
no, we rode everything multiple times. I think that we wanted to.
Nice. Is the Indiana Jones ride still there?
It is.
That's a good ride.
That is a good ride.
And we talked offline about the Matterhorn. That still holds up.
That still holds up. Yeah, my kids did not know that there was a Yeti that is screaming at you midway through the ride.
That's the best part.
Yeah, because it doesn't do anything like for the first like third of the ride, and then you just start hearing him yell, and then all of a sudden he's right in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
I thought I was just another badly behaving customer acting out.
I don't know. Yeah, but just about everybody was fine.
Yeah,
right. Like everybody knows the deal. Like you paid a pretty penny to be in there to have fun, like with your family. Like just
the place is like on lockdown too. Like if any place is
fucking get away with anything,
right? If any place is locked down, it's that. Like you're not getting no mischief. Like I wouldn't fuck around there at all. I mean, what are you gonna do? You cut in line, probably like the floor opens up and you fucking drop down into a torture chamber or something.
Exactly.
Maybe not that.
No.
Yeah. But it was a good time. We went to Knott's Berry Farm as well.
I was going to ask you that. That was going to be my question. Did you venture over to Knott's Berry Farm? And I guess the answer is yes.
Is that more roller coasters?
That's more roller coasters. Yeah,
it's
a sister park of Kings Island, which is the park here in Cincinnati. So our passes work there.
Free park.
So.
Good time.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You went away too, Cheapy.
I didn't know you. Oh, I did. I thought you said we.
You did.
Yes, we went to Mrs. Cheapy and I went to Spain for 6 nights. Well,
did you go on Space Mountain, Spain?
We didn't go to any amusement parks at all. Not a single one. We went to Madrid for 2 nights. We went to Ibiza for 2 nights, and then we went to Mallorca, I think is how you say it, for 2 nights. Yeah. Madrid, it was 100 degrees both days in Madrid that we were there. We went to, they have these huge art museums with all kinds of famous shit in there. Saw Guernica, big ass Guernica, and just tried not to melt and ate ice cream and enjoyed the Spanish piss smell. Now I know what Spanish piss smells like. So, people complain that New York smells like piss. Fucking, I guess every city smells like piss because fucking Madrid smelled like piss.
Yeah, but how was the ham?
The ham was awesome. We ate a lot of ham. Even like the hotel gave you like welcome ham.
Mm-hmm.
Just eat. Here's a plate of ham. You're in Spain. Eat this ham.
You're in Spain. Eat some ham.
Eat like a lot of ham. I was like, all right. So that was really nice. And then we went to. So Madrid was basically just art museums and indoor because it was so fucking hot. Like you can't.
Did you have paella?
We had noodle paella in Ibiza. That's paella with noodles instead of rice. So in this case, they were
so not paella.
No, it's paella. It's a thing. It's a thing that they have. It's called noodle paella in English.
That's okay. I'm sure it was fine. Was it crispy on the bottom?
I mean, I don't remember. I fucking shoveled that shit down. The flavor was so strong that it was almost overwhelming. Like it was seafood paella. It was like paella concentrate. Like I've had paella here. It was like if you had 10 paellas at once in one paella. And the noodles were just like macaroni, like Kraft macaroni and cheese sized noodles, if that can picture. But it's a famous thing there. It's like the local food there. So that we had in Ibiza. In Ibiza, we stayed at this club hotel. So they imagine like a 5,000 person poolside dance club outdoors, where every night of the week in the summer they have one of like the top 10 famous DJs in the world. Like, and you can get a room at the hotel, which is basically like having your own room at a dance club party, if that was a such thing that existed, or your own room at a concert. And when you're on the balcony, like it's just there in front of you, and all the people who spend 50 euros on a ticket are down on the floor, and you can be in your hotel room balcony away from the masses.
It's basically a concert with a private bathroom.
And bed in a hotel room, which sounds like a great idea, right?
Doesn't that sound kind of magical? Like I would want to go see like Coachella that way.
That's what I thought of while I was there. That I was thinking of you two guys. Like you guys imagine going to like a 6-hour concert where you can go down to the floor if you want, but also if you just want to hang out on your balcony and watch from there, you could do that. But
and if I got to take a dump, I could go right inside.
Exactly. So I knew it was going to be loud because I've been to dance clubs when I was and dance clubs when I was younger. So I knew it was going to be loud, and part of the reason why I bought those AirPod Pro 2s or whatever, because I knew that they have like this built-in thing when it lets in all the sound, but it drops it down by 20 decibels basically. And I even bought the conventional ones that are just go in your ear. They're just pieces of rubber, but they're designed for music. They drop the decibels down like by 20 or so. So anyway, during it's like 5 hours of DJs. So like they have opening acts and then the one main DJ at the end. The sound level was fine for all the opening acts, but when the main guy gets on, I don't know what the fuck they do. I mean, I know they turn it fucking way up is what they do, but I can't even describe what that is like. It's like a sonic assault. Like they have those weapons that they use to like make people nauseous at like the different consulates around the world. They use them against the U.S. targets. It felt like that. Like we watched those DJs, the end DJs, in our room with the fucking door closed, through the closed balcony door. And the whole thing was fucking just shaking, like boom, 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 boom. I can't even imagine what it's like on the floor when you're right up, like even closer to the speakers. And I doubt that any of those young people are wearing, I mean, some are probably, but I doubt very many are wearing hearing protection.
Who was the best DJ?
That's all basically the same. I got to be honest. Like a lot of them.
I didn't want to say it because I felt like you would just make a face. Okay. No, thank you for reassuring me and my prejudices.
What happens is a lot of these DJs are producers and they make their own songs. So those DJs who have like a big catalog are playing a lot of their own songs throughout their show. But the ones that aren't are playing like current hits. So a lot of like the warm-up DJs, we've heard like a lot of the same songs over and over again. We were there for 2 nights, but it was a lot. Like the sound, it's just like, let's put it this way. This place is fucking situated over the direct flight path of the airport. The planes are flying overhead all day and overnight to the point where like, you're just laughing. It's so fucking loud, the planes flying overhead. But when the show's going on, you don't even notice it because it's just so much. And the weird thing is like the Apple Watch will tell you exactly the decibels that are going into your fucking brain. It must not be able to figure out the bass because it's only showing like 70 decibels, but the whole fucking room is shaking. and your insides are shaking. It's again like the show ends at like 11:30 at night, and that's a whole nother thing. They have to get like the 5,000 people out of this hotel basically, and then they take down the entire set, which is in like the courtyard of this hotel. It's a huge production that they do every night because they have a new DJ coming in every night. It's pretty amazing operation. So if you're into DJ, like club music, I would highly recommend going to this place, but maybe stay a little farther away.
I have a feeling that if I ever murder a nun, that my eternal damnation will be staying at that hotel.
It's an experience for sure. Like Mrs. Chibi, I don't think wanted to go back ever. But it was like torture.
Have heard of any of these DJs?
Oh yeah, Martin Garrix is like one of the top. I mean, would you have heard of?
Oh, it's from Mass Effect.
No, we saw Martin Garrix was the headliner, and no, that's Garrix. Or maybe it's the same name actually. Could be the same guy. He looked kind of weird actually. Martin Garrix was the headliner for one night, and the other night it was Dimitri Vegas and Like Mike, which I wasn't super familiar with. But every night they have a big DJ. Calvin Harris, have you heard of Calvin Harris?
I've heard of Calvin Harris.
He's Friday night. He's Friday nights, every Friday there. So they had deals with all these DJs, and every night of the week is their night. Each different guy every night, basically. They had, and included with the show is you get to go, when that show ends, they have a whole other club across the street that is also owned by the hotel. And then they have another big ass DJ spinning then. But we were done. By 11:30, we were like, we can't. There's no way. So we never made it to that club. And then we went, after Ibiza, we went to Mallorca, which I would highly recommend for any American because, first of all, it's very accessible. They speak English because they get a ton of European tourists who speak English. But just the history there, it's so all the buildings are from 900s or 1,000 or 1,100. Castles, narrow cobblestone streets, like Arab influenced architecture because like the Arabs had conquered that place in like the 900s or some shit like that. It's very fucking foreign looking being there, and the food is awesome. The prices are good. Like if you like to drink wine and stuff, like it's just as cheap as the water basically. You can, and coffee, like everything. Food is
Disney was. Everything was so affordable.
Food seems to be like cheap. I think, because European wages are lower and taxes are higher. Things are just expected to be like, no one's looking for like a $15 drink. Like that's not a thing that exists. Like, €5 maybe, sangria, €6. I even drank sangria.
I ate a steak as the Pirates of the Caribbean boats floated by. It was wonderful.
It was only $300 for Disney steak.
Right. But
might not be far off.
I know.
I bet. And
I would love to go to Spain. My nephew got married in Spain last September. We just couldn't go, but yeah. I think he got married in Mallorca.
It's really, out of all three places we went, I would say Mallorca was like definitely the most memorable. And the whole trip is like easy. Like it's not that far. It's like 7 hours there, 8 hours back from New York, which is, like watch 3 movies and you're there. Yeah, it was good. Ate a lot of good stuff too.
I'm glad you guys both had very nice vacations.
Yes.
I didn't go anywhere.
Ooh.
I know.
Summer's not over yet though. It's just getting started.
I don't think I'm going anywhere. My kids are away. They're
Perfect.
both away.
That's when you go. That's when we go.
It's I would say that's like a vacation, but my kids aren't really that difficult to deal with anymore.
Well, but it's always nice to have like an adult vacation where you can go to a nightclub and
it would be nice one of these days. I did get a car. Does that count?
Only if it's not a Ford Econo something.
It is not a Ford Econo something.
What is it?
It's a Ford Escape.
It's the same thing.
No, it's not. How dare you? It's very nice. It's got a panoramic moonroof.
Holy fuck. What does that mean?
It means the whole roof is just a big sheet of glass.
You're gonna enjoy that.
It's kind of cool, actually. It is super cool.
Yeah, no,
Yeah, the kids just sit in the back and lay down now, so
that's
they
not
can look
safe.
up. Well, you know,
Tell them,
when
have
I'm
you told them
driving, it
about the
is.
sky? You can just
that it's
go outside
there.
and look up.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, but when you're moving in a car and the sky's above you and you can see it, it's kind of neat. Whatever.
Yeah, I know. I also have a sunroof.
Wow, it's not the same thing. You're rude. You're just a big rude.
I also have this feature.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you have power brakes?
No.
No
That's
brakes on the Escape.
No. It
You
has a
drag your
You
handle.
can't
foot.
escape if you have brakes.
You pull a handle.
Put your foot through the floor.
Yeah.
Fred Flintstone.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So
That's exciting. So no more Eco
Econoline.
Challenge or
Yeah.
whatever.
Econoline. No.
EcoSport.
EcoSport.
EcoSport. That's what it
The
was.
EcoSport has gone away.
It's going to India.
Its time has expired.
That is
It's
on a
been
boat, and it's going to India or Jamaica. Is my
No,
prediction.
those things sell for a fortune now because people, for some reason, want them, and yet they stop making them. I think maybe people want them because they stop making. I don't know. I don't care. I got rid of it. I actually have a car now that has a little bit of pickup, and they gave me rubber floor mats, which I'm a big fan of. So I'm happy.
Dude, you're living the life. Rubber
I'm
floor
living the
mats.
life. Hmm.
I have
So,
those too.
I
Me too.
know. I don't.
They're good.
Exactly. It's just because you have it doesn't mean that makes it either a
welcome.
bad.
Welcome
To
We're
the
just
world
welcoming
of.
them. Rubber floor mats.
Jesus Christ.
I have rubber floor mats
guys are just
and
like-
regular floor mats that I can swap out as I feel like it. If I just want to have the rubber floor mats all year long, I could do that. If I feel like I want
But
to
do you have
fancy
the
it
rubber
up,
lining in the trunk area?
I mean, I just leave that in my garage because that's
I do. You
When
should take the Escape somewhere. Go
I know.
Escape.
go drive
We
somewhere. Do
have-
something.
There are issues with the little dog where she flunked out of doggy daycare. So we can't leave her anywhere. So
That
when
means
she
m-
finished,
Well, how do you flunk
So-
out of doggy daycare?
she doesn't like to not be around us, and she's not quite there yet. So, for overnight stuff, it sucks.
Take her with you somewhere.
That would not be a vacation. You know
Mm.
how you were saying how the watch could tell you when you hear a sound that's too loud and might
Yeah.
damage your ears? Yeah. When my dog barks, the watch goes off.
Oh, that's not good.
That's
Right.
that would not be a vacation. Poor Luna. She means well though.
Wait, that's the old dog.
No,
What? No, that's a
Team,
new one. You could.
Oh, right.
Couldn't
Team
you?
is the old dog.
Cheapy could have taken her with you.
Yeah.
With him.
Do you want to
back
watch?
to her homeland?
Do you want to watch my? Yeah, you should
Drop her
could have
off.
taken. Both of my dogs are from Spain.
One-way trip.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm not doing that.
No, my wife would be very unhappy.
One of my neighbors let their dog off the leash, and their dog was in my backyard this morning while I was making eggs.
That's not cool.
Scared the shit out of me. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
If that thing takes a shit in there back there, I'm gonna fucking go nuts. It didn't.
I have to clean a lot of poop in my backyard,
Ugh.
and I don't, and at least I know where it came from, and I still don't like it.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. All right, let's do some show feedback now that you've heard
Sure.
about our summer adventures.
Uh-huh. Let's see. Miata Skate has to say, absolute zero mention of Final Fantasy, what is that, 16, which is easily the biggest game launching this week, let alone this summer.
This guy always has some shitty comment for us.
Oh, it not only is it a shitty comment, but it is factually inaccurate because that show had not been released when we recorded our last episode, and it was not on the new release calendar. It would have been on the calendar if we did a show last week because it came out that Friday. But
Well-
we record on Wednesdays.
Right. It's more like the game wasn't on the list that we used because the game came out on either Friday or a Thursday, and the list only goes to Wednesday, I believe.
To the Wednesday of when we record. So why don't you shut your stupid fat face and get a life, you dumb loser? Isn't that what
Good
we're all
reviews.
thinking?
Good reviews though.
Yeah. I'm sure it's getting fine reviews.
88 on Metacritic.
That's a lot.
Pretty
That's and I know we're all playing it, so we'll talk about it later.
Yeah. I'm almost
Yeah.
finished. finished. I'm using I got nothing.
I heard this is the
Spanish
last one.
PS5.
This is the last one. That's why they called it Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
We're all hoping.
Mhm.
No.
The other ones were just called Fantasy.
I'd like to play that game.
I'm sure it's fine.
It's an action RPG now or something?
It is.
I
It's an action game.
It's a serial now. All right, what else?
Nintendo. Fianaro 5503 had to say, Wombat makes a good point. Game Pass Ultimate, which includes online play, will cost $204 a year. PS Plus Extra, which includes online play, is $100 a year if you buy the annual sub. That's exactly what I was saying. I was looking at the list of games just today on PS Plus Extra. That's PS Mid. And the selection is pretty darn good. I would say at this point, if someone were to ask me what's the better deal, Game Pass or PS Plus Extra, I would probably say PS Plus Extra is the better deal than Game Pass.
What about once the Activision merger goes through?
Well, I mean, again, who knows? It's hard to say because I don't know what games are going to include on that.
It's still
and I don't know if
cheaper.
it's going to go through.
Definitely a lot cheaper.
It's definitely a lot cheaper. It's half the price. It's very interesting. That's all. That no one is. I feel like we're the only people that are talking about that. Like, you realize there's like a PlayStation Plus version of Game Pass that's half the price of Game Pass and has just as many games, including both Spider-Man games.
Sony, send money.
Yeah, right. Yeah, now we're Sony fanboys. After people call us Xbox fanboys every other week.
Fuck everyone.
So, yep.
Should we do Watch This Jerks?
We can. Am I going first?
You watched the Batman cartoon. I watched 5 minutes of it, and then I was like, I'm going to fall asleep if I watch this. Because I'm jet lagged.
It's definitely weird. It's the movie's called Batman, the Doom That Came to Gotham. It's a DC animated movie that is on Max. It is Batman. It's an Elseworlds Batman movie that takes place at the turn of the 20th century, right? Yeah, that's the 1900s. And it's like Batman's fighting H.P. Lovecraft monsters, and only he can stop them. And it gets kind of weird. And some parts of it are kind of neat, and other parts of it are really stupid. So, it's short, though. It's like an hour and 10 minutes.
It's good length.
If you love the DC Universe animated movies and you love Batman, then it's well worth your time. If me saying Batman animated makes you want to jump out a window, then this is not.
They're usually good.
Yeah, it's fine.
Cool. Yeah, I'll probably watch that. I was just jet lagged, and it was, I gotta.
That's fair.
Gotta catch up. I watched 3 movies on the airplane ride home from Spain. I watched Shazam 2.
How is that? I haven't seen it.
That's another, DC has this thing. They've got it down better than, I don't know, any other company that puts out movies where it's very consistent. Shipwreck knows exactly what I'm going to say. Have you even seen the movie?
I haven't seen the movie. Go for it.
He knows exactly what I'm going to say. You watch the movie and you're like, all right, the movie's almost over. It's wrapping up. And then you look down and you see there's 45 minutes left. And you're like, how could there possibly be 45 minutes of the movie? We've come so far. And yet, and it's every DC movie now. Doesn't matter what. Sometimes it's longer. You look down, there's like an hour left and you can't even understand. But again, fucking Shazam does this. And it was cute and they had some good jokes. But I feel like the adult Shazam is goofier than regular kid. Do you know what I mean?
That was the big criticism from movie critics. Yeah, was that the kid who plays Billy Batson is really good
and level-headed and smart, but just like his character is like mature, even like mature above his age.
He's been through a lot of shit. He's an orphan. He's a kid who's been through a lot of shit. He's an orphan whose mother abandoned him, who's been raised by foster parents. He just wants to do the right thing by people because he's a good kid with a good head on
almost. Like he's like melancholy a little bit.
Mother abandoned him.
Of course. But when he Shazams, he turns into like a goofball.
An idiot.
Yeah, it's very weird. But he's hardly the kid in this movie either. Like he's only on screen for like 2 seconds. But that's sort of what I thought about Shazam. Then how
shiny was it? Was there a lot of gold?
Oh, good question. I don't think so. But Lucy Liu is in it, and Helen Mirren. Mirren.
Helen
Mermel.
Helen Mirren.
She looks old, and she's playing old.
She is.
Yeah. I can't really recommend you watch that movie. It's too long.
I'm gonna watch it.
You can watch it until the last 45 minutes, and then you've seen enough.
I keep passing on it. It'll show up. It's always the first thing recommended to me on Max, and I'm like, I don't know.
I would have watched it on the plane, but like
perfect on a plane.
I had my kids sitting there with me, and it'll be something that we'll watch like together.
Yes.
So I couldn't everything that was on there. I'm like, oh, I could watch this, but they haven't seen this yet.
Perfect for a plane ride. Perfect for killing time on a plane. Then I watched. Fuck. Now what's the movie with Rowan Atkinson as the spy? Johnny
English Strikes Again, right?
Johnny English Strikes Again.
Yes.
I kept getting Johnny Dangerously
this ahead of time.
Right. I
watched Johnny Dangerously last week, by the way.
Yeah, that's pretty. I watched like the first half of it.
It's been on TV a lot. That movie holds up. Anyway.
It's a very dumb movie, but again, perfect for the plane. And I laughed a bunch of times like a fucking moron. So that's certainly not Shakespeare or anything, but there are some funny jokes in it. But yeah, it's not good. And then I watched The Great Gatsby, which was
okay. I've seen that.
Scorsese?
Baz
Luhrmann. Baz Luhrmann, yeah.
I've never read.
I see DiCaprio, my brain goes Scorsese. Yeah.
I never read the book and I didn't know the story.
What?
Yeah,
we never read the.
We didn't read it in school. We didn't read it in school.
I read that actually not in school. I read it when I was like in my early 20s.
Nothing happens in that fucking movie. Not like
what happens in that movie?
Not really. Like one thing happens, and then
okay. Anyway,
it's mostly just dancing.
One thing happens.
Yeah,
the book is surprisingly better than the movie.
Yeah, not surprisingly, I guess. I
like that movie. Okay, though. I mean, it's stuff to look at the entire time.
I like the spy movie, Rowan Atkinson spy movie, better.
Okay.
It was more enjoyable. I laughed more.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
What'd you watch on TV? Anything good?
I finished Silo.
I tried to watch the first episode of Silo, and I just couldn't. I watched the first half of the first episode, and I was halfway through it, and I came to the realization that I do not care what happens to these people. They could live, they could die. The silo could collapse on top of everybody, and I literally did not care.
I think it's like the most popular show on Apple TV right now.
I'm not saying that it isn't, and I understand why people like this kind of show, but I watched it, and I like the people that are in it.
It's not even slow. The first two episodes, like they get into it right away. I feel like shit starts happening.
Well, that's just it. It's like I'm like, okay, I get it. I don't care about these people. I think I'm out.
All right. Well, we watched the whole thing. It's very good. You should watch it. Don't listen to Wombat.
Maybe I'll give it another shot. I'm just saying, but I did give it a shot.
Right.
Like, at least I put it on. Did you? It was you who recommended the Big Door Prize, right?
Yes. So we watched all that too.
I finished that.
Okay, good.
I like that a lot.
Okay, good.
I really like the Big Door Prize. I like that. I described, my wife asked me what it was like because she didn't watch it with me. And I said, it's kind of like if Lost was a sitcom.
Sure.
That's kind of what it is. It's not, because I don't want to spoil anything. And I feel like hopefully this isn't a spoiler.
Uh-oh.
It passes itself off as being heavy, but it isn't. And there are
heady or heavy?
Heavy. Like it passes itself off like you keep thinking something super serious is gonna happen, and it's not that serious things don't happen, but there's a lot of levity there, and and I think the show understands that it's a comedy.
It's a good. I feel like it's a good balance between heavy and light.
Yeah,
that's why we kind of liked it. Is that
like Heavy D and the Boys?
The
balance is there.
You find
the boys
love,
were heavy, I thought,
and then you got to figure out what to do with it.
Right.
That is exactly what the show is about: finding love, and then what you're going to do with it.
What are you going to do with it?
Mm-hmm.
Got it.
Yeah. But the Big Door Prize.
Yeah, you guys could watch that, Chip.
That.
You guys could watch that.
I'm capable of watching it.
I feel like you would like it.
I actually think you would really like that. Yeah,
it's fun. It's not a depressing thing. You know,
that's what I mean.
It's
not. It's Silo is depressing.
Silo is depressing.
half an episode and you're like, oh, this is depressing
It's
shit.
a dystopia. It's a dystopian situation.
The big door prize is about a machine that mysteriously shows up in a small town, and when you put in your 25 cents, you get a card that tells you what your
$1.50.
a dollar, whatever you put in coins, and it tells you what your potential is, what your life's potential
In one word.
is, in one word.
Yeah.
Got it.
Mm-hmm. So, I would get a card that would say sex machine on
It would say Pops.
I don't own many Pops.
You're not living up to your potential.
I know.
Yeah, it's good. Chip, you would like it. It's
I'll check it out.
Yeah. I think you would like that show.
You know what's cool about my new what are we on? Windows 11 here now? Is that what we're up to? Windows 11?
Sure.
It's popping up on my screen right now. Polluted air starts soon.
Yeah, that is
there's a nice little icon
like a
too.
like a happy polluted cloud.
Is
That's
it?
my favorite. That's
it's
my
like a
favorite
warning
show.
sign.
Yeah,
I feel. I don't like that.
you could change those out.
Oh, okay, cool. I'm gonna make it a smiley face.
Yeah.
What else are you watching?
I have kept up with Secret Invasion. I am caught up. I watched a new episode today that came out today before we did the show.
I saw ads for it in Spain.
I'm trying to say I like it.
Is there
I
any
like
karate?
you.
Yeah.
I could tell by that intro there.
Yeah.
I
really
know.
like it.
You know what it is? Because I know people are going to be like, really? You're watching I know.
Dry heaving while talking about the show is usually a good sign of enjoyment.
The same noise I made when I found Bush Light Peach at Walmart.
It's good. It's still slow. It is definitely like deep cut MCU.
Is there action or no?
Not really.
That's bad.
It's like adult rated though as well, right?
It's not for kids, because kids would be like, I don't understand what's going on.
Is there nudity?
It's not even, no, there's no nudity. It's just, although there is some pretty graphic violence that I haven't seen in a Marvel show before. In the second episode, specifically, there's like one moment where I was like, haven't seen that done before. But it's a spy show. And it's all about, whose side is who on, and who's telling the truth, and who's really alive and who's really dead, and how is Nick Fury going to prevent World War III from happening. And the Skrulls are bad, and some of the Skrulls aren't bad, but maybe this Skrull who's bad is good, and maybe this Skrull who's good is bad. And
I get it.
Yeah.
It's a spy
But it's only
thriller.
6 episodes. And this was the third one, so we're at the halfway.
You're
point.
invested now.
I'm invested
Yes.
now, and I like Marvel shit, so I'm gonna stick with it and see if it, eventually maybe it'll pay off. Although nothing Marvel has really paid off in the last while. It's been a while since Marvel paid off, which is kind of a bummer. But
Ms. Marvel was good.
Ms. Marvel was very good. I liked Ms. I think some of the TV shows get a bad rap. I think people like to shit on them, but I think Ms. Marvel
We're
was
watching
good.
Loki right now, so
Loki's good. I like Loki a lot. I think the last, was it like 2 episodes of Hawkeye make for a very good sort of self-contained little movie. If you're gonna
Hawkeye, I like
rewatch
Hawkeye.
anything,
yeah, I like Hawkeye.
those last 2 episodes, the whole Christmas thing where they fight
Yeah,
the
they could've-
Kingpin and Yelena at the same time. Yeah, that's a good little self-contained portion of that show. That show also, I think, was underrated. But I understand that not all of it was great. Not all of everything is great all the time, and there's just a lot of it. But there's going to be a lot less of it, so try it while we can.
There is going to be a lot less of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're cutting back on producing Marvel stuff because they are.
They probably need to for a bit.
Yeah, they need to. I think also
They need
for
to get it in
financial
order.
reasons,
Like,
and
yeah. They need to like get that next big wave in order, which is you got to have Fantastic Four and X-Men and
but
these
that's not
current
coming.
young-
That's
current young characters. They've got
I
to get.
know.
They've got to get the young characters.
They got to. They have to figure out what they're doing. Is what
Right.
they have to do. Yes.
Mhm.
I think we get the Marvels, and then we get Deadpool, I think is the next one after that. Deadpool 3, which is now officially MCU.
Oh, I forgot. I also watched Wolverine X-Men Origins. I don't know why. I realized I never saw it, and I like Wolverine, and now I know why the whole bone claw thing. Like, I thought I was missing something on the story, but then you told me that they fucking just changed it. They came up with like a whole new Wolverine origin in like the 2000s or something, where Wolverine has bones, like claw bones, right?
Yeah, he has bone claws.
Yeah. I don't like that.
What? He has bone claws.
It's dumb.
He was born with it. He's a mutant.
Yeah, but that's not the original Wolverine story.
You mean that the blades were implanted into his arms?
Yeah. The original one, from what I remember from the 1980s, was like his power was his healing power, and that was it. And because he had the healing power, they could give him the adamantium skeleton.
Which they do.
And the fucking claws, and that was the whole thing. So his only power is really the healing.
He had the bone claws in the early 90s.
Yeah, see, I was already done reading.
Before the retcon of the origin, they gave him the bone claws during Age of Apocalypse. Is the first instance I can think of where they show the bone claws. Now,
not a fan.
I could also very well be wrong. Don't take me as gospel because I'm not a huge X-Men guy. But that's, as far as I know, Age of Apocalypse would be the first instance I could think of them showing Wolverine with bone claws.
It's a real turnoff.
Well, I'm sorry.
I know a lot about that.
Yes.
Real turnoffs.
Yes.
They should make a Wolverine TV series based on like some of the old stories. Definitely
the
no bones
stuff.
Like when he's in Japan and with his girl,
with the eye patch.
He's got his girl.
They did introduce Madripoor in the whatchamacallit, the Captain America TV show.
Who? I don't know that
guy. Madripoor is not a person. Madripoor is a place. That's where Wolverine goes during the issues that you're talking about.
From the 80s?
Yes.
I thought he was in Japan.
Where he changes his name to Patch and he hires himself out as a mercenary.
Oh, that sounds lame.
In between.
No, I'm talking about when he's fighting samurais and shit.
Yeah, that's
Patch. His name is Patch when he's fighting samurais. You're telling me?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Patch.
That
sounds weird.
Well, you sound weird.
80s were weird.
80s were weird.
All right, let's do. What is this? Someone's reading Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
I decided that being on 765 episodes of this podcast wasn't nerdy enough. So I had this hole in my life where I'd never read Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy before. So
nice.
I like that 2 books have been brought up on this episode and I've read them both, which has never happened. But anyway, please go on.
I read it. I feel nerdier for.
I find that book fascinating only because the crux of the Hitchhiker's Guide, which is essentially an iPad. But obviously when that book was written, there was no such thing as an iPad. And it's pretty ahead of its time for that. Like, I find that to be mind blowing to me, but I guess not to you guys. I don't know. Never mind. Forget I said anything.
Are you going to read the sequels?
I don't know. Like it was very much like I like popcorn movies, right? It was very much like a popcorn version of a book.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Right? Like I gotta I transitioned from this over to some Murakami because I'm like, I need to read something with a little bit more substance.
So what are you reading?
Sputnik Sweetheart.
Is the new one?
It's not the newest one now.
No.
I haven't read that, so I'm out of the loop now.
It's quite good.
Are there babblefish in it?
Not yet.
Okay.
I'm gonna guess that there's erect penises in it.
Not yet.
Really?
Not yet. I'm early.
Okay.
Breasts, I'm only like 3 chapters in, but yes, there's definitely. It feels like it's leading that way.
It's horny.
It's definitely horny.
He's so horny, that guy.
Yeah.
New releases.
Sure.
I guess there are some.
There's a wrestling game, AEW game.
I saw that. It was at Walmart.
I don't know if it's
There's
good.
Pro Cornhole. That's out. That's on the Switch.
It's on the Switch. Okay, I was wondering which system that was on.
There's a new Arkanoid game on the Xbox.
Okay, now we're talking.
For $30.
What are we doing in Arkanoid?
Battle Royale.
I guess.
Eternal Battle. Is this the one that came out previously?
I don't
sounds
know.
like
we had an
Battle Royale.
Arkanoid game within the last year.
Yeah, it came out on Steam in October 2022.
Yeah, this one's been out for a while.
It's $3 on Steam. It's 90% off. Ends July 13th.
All right. So if I went in on that,
It's a fully modernized version of Arkanoid.
I've seen the thumbnail for this game, and I find it very interesting that there's a game called Doom and Destiny Worlds that has nothing to do with Doom or Destiny.
Yeah, it's good. That's a good trick.
That's a nice trick to get your
Yep.
game. At least people go like, "Wait, what?
Yep.
Doom and Destiny?
I'm putting out Halo and Call of Duty Worlds.
Yeah, Halo and Call of Duty World. Mm-hmm.
It's going to be a big money maker. All right, that's it for new releases.
Yeah, you can leave a comment on the YouTube channel to let us know what games we didn't talk about that came out this week.
Don't. Honestly, don't. If you're going to leave like snotty messages like that, like just
fine.
write it
Leave
out. Write it out to make yourself feel better, and then just don't hit send. Because
Yeah,
what's the point, really? Like, what are you doing? What are
I
you
like
doing?
them.
You
Do it.
like the snotty comments?
Sure.
I mean, if it's
Did you like those? Did you like our most recent reviews?
I mean,
I love all our reviews.
if you want to make a point, that's one thing, but there's no need to make it in a snotty way. Like, what are you gaining by that? Chances are, like, we're just gonna fucking make fun of it and certainly not
And
gonna
you.
take it to heart. Like, if you're snotty about it. I mean, that's not how you get people to do what you want, by being snotty to them. Or, I mean, if you just want to be an asshole, that's one thing. But like, if you want to invoke change, that's not how you do it. You don't like insult the people. Then they will resist change. Shipwreck, we got to teach this guy how to get shit done.
Sure.
All right, let's do some Fortnightly news.
I can't believe we didn't mention Grisaya Phantom Trigger 5.5 to 08.
That's coming out on Thursday. That's why.
I was gonna talk about that, but I decided, I don't hate myself enough. So Fortnite summer event started this week. It's not much. People are very upset about that. So
Because it's not much.
it's not much. Yeah, they didn't change the map really at all. There's like one very small section where they like added inflatable palm trees,
Lame.
and people are like, oh,
There'll probably be some events like.
Well,
I don't
they're
know.
all the Fortnite team goes on like summer hiatus for like a month. So this is like the last thing they do before they go away,
Oh, okay.
and
They need a
people
vacation.
expect. Yeah, which is fine, but people like are hoping that they like, and here's something to keep you busy while we're gone for a month.
Right.
And there are some cool freebies in the event. I can't complain about that. I like the idea of like a little pet dart frog on your back that changes color. That's kind of cool. And some fun weapon wraps, but yeah, a little bit more would have been nice. I'm not saying that, it's the worst thing that's ever happened. It's just, meh.
Got it. What else?
And so there was this game on Steam called Only Up.
I know this game.
Yeah, it's basically like a endless runner, but you're not running. It's like a platformer where you're constantly going up, and you're jumping on different obstacles and you're going up as high as you can. And I guess it doesn't end, but it used some elements in the game that apparently were only free if you were making a game that wasn't sold.
Got it.
So it used elements that were not licensed for commercial use. So Steam pulled the game from its
Steam.
system.
Yeah,
From Steam.
it's back
Steam
now.
pulled it from Steam. It's back now, though.
And it's on sale.
And it's on sale. Now, while that was going on, are you familiar with the Fortnite creative maps?
Yes.
Okay, someone made a
Intimately.
version of Only Up in Fortnite using the Fortnite elements in the new Unreal Engine.
Mhm.
And I actually checked it out. It's very nice.
Mhm.
They did a very good job on it. And it's the first game in creative to have 100,000 concurrent players that wasn't like an Epic created or Epic promoted thing. Based on the amount of users it has and the new way that it pays people, the people who made this map stand to make about $5 million this month.
Wow.
From this gaming and creative.
Oh, wow. That's really cool.
That's where this gets interesting. I know you don't care about Fortnite, but I thought you might find it interesting that the people who made this in Fortnite are going to make a ton of money. So I guess my question for you guys is, do you think it's right that someone can take a game that's on Steam, see what the new hotness is, try to recreate it in Fortnite and make theoretically more money than the Steam,
and use the name Only Up, right?
Use the name Only Up, yeah, because it's not like he's.
That seems bad. That seems like a lawsuit, a guaranteed lawsuit. I mean, if these guys really get paid out that much money, obviously the Only Up creator is going to try to get some of that money from them. I mean,
and it's not if they didn't trademark the name Only Up.
I mean, I'm sure he did, and I don't know. Even still, like, you can still sue. You still have a shot.
I mean, the games are different in the sense that Only Up Fortnite, the things that you're jumping on are different things. You know, you're jumping on stuff that would be found in Fortnite games.
Right. But interesting though. That's quite a incentive to make these maps, or try to figure out what the zeitgeist is going to latch onto and make those try to in make Fortnite. Some money.
Yeah, especially since they make the money and you gamer, the user doesn't have to pay anything.
Why don't you get on this? Why don't you start figuring out how to do this shit?
There are companies that only make games in Fortnite now. That's like a thing. The big one I think is Atlas Creative. There's a game studio that only makes Fortnite creative games.
Can you make these maps like in the actual game? Or do you have to have some sort of like developer tool to do it? Like, can anyone just do this?
I mean, you can make creative maps. Anyone can make a creative map. I think to make a good one,
you need some tools.
You need to know what you're doing. Yeah.
I'm out.
Yeah.
All right. That's very interesting. What else we got?
I thought you'd find that interesting. So do you know how bad the metaverse was?
So before you go on, I actually read this article. I read the whole article, and then I went like through the sources and stuff. And actually, like, the numbers are not accurate. It's sort of been misread and interpreted.
So you're saying that Horizon World had more than 38 daily users and has made more than $470?
Yeah, the $470 was a reference to their creator program, and that's how much money their creator program paid out to people who made their worlds in, what's the thing called? Horizon Worlds. So it's still a failure. I mean, the overall point is that nobody's using this thing, and they wasted a lot of money on it. That is all 100% accurate.
When they could have, those people making stuff in Horizon Worlds could have tried making something in Fortnite Creative.
Yes, and they obviously would have had a much greater chance of success because people are using that, actually. Yeah, the article was actually a very weird article. It's called Lessons from the Catastrophic Failure of the Metaverse, and it's mostly about architecture companies trying to cash in on the metaverse like right away, like this whole like real estate thing in the metaverse, and how it was like anyone with half a brain can see it was all just bullshit, basically. And that was basically the gist of the article, and then pointing out how no one's using any of this shit. But yeah, that thing sucks.
Yep. I still never understood what the point of it was, so I'm glad I'm not the only one.
It was like the madness to get into NFTs, and then like
is that still a thing? Do people even care about that anymore? No one cares. No, and are NFTs dead? What about Bitcoin? Is that still a thing?
Yes, that's still a thing.
Yeah, there is a viability to that.
But apparently there's going to be some sort of like safer Bitcoin that's coming out.
Sure.
Yeah, it's called a bank.
No, they already have that. It's already out.
Yeah.
Anyway, the last thing I want to do is fucking talk about Bitcoin or anything like that. All right, that's it for the news. We got a quick Spank Banky review. This one is for Demon Sword Incubus. And this review is provided by the publisher. It's a side-scrolling hack and slash with simple but satisfying combos. Where's the sex? Oh, take too much damage and your clothes get tattered and reduce your defenses. Doesn't sound very sexy, really. Hope for more ludidity, but that's reserved for a PC-only patch. Oh, is the Switch now like not as sexy as it used to be? Did we get shut down on that? I think that's what's happening. I think the glory days are over for the Switch horny games.
The glory holes are over for
They're closed.
the Switch?
The glory holes are being pixelated. Mosaic.
They might just be saving it for the next console.
Nintendo Switch Pro unlocks.
Switch After Dark.
Switch After Dark. The boobs are 40% bigger on Switch Pro.
Yep. You got a SWAD. Got to get your SWAD.
Banky says, please, there's a demo, so you can check out the demo and maybe wait for a sale. That's Demon Sword Incubus. Let's move on to the CAG bag. Christian Vizina writes in and he says, keeping in mind Microsoft's, actually all these are about fucking Microsoft and Sony and Activision. Keeping in mind Microsoft's troubled history of developer and IP management, what tangible upsides do you expect for gamers for the potential Activision acquisition, especially upsides, if any, for Nintendo and PlayStation players? I mean, upsides for PlayStation and Nintendo players.
Well, didn't Microsoft already say they have a tentative agreement with Nintendo to make sure
They have an agreement, I think.
Yeah, so
yes.
it's fine for Nintendo. It doesn't really affect Nintendo at all.
I
If
mean,
anything, games that weren't going to be out on Nintendo consoles will be.
I don't know about that.
I don't think that.
They said Call of Duty was coming to the Switch.
That could be. I mean, this fucking sold so many Switches.
Yeah.
So that would be an upside, I guess, if that game wasn't coming out before. For Sony, obviously, there's no upside. I mean,
there is no upside.
The upside is that they agreed to put it out there for 10 years at least, and that's a lot actually. And I feel like they should probably be satisfied with that. But certainly, there's no. I mean, there could be an upside. I mean, look at what Activision's doing right now. Or in the last couple of years.
I would say if there's there was a real upside, theoretically, if Activision becomes a Microsoft product and is Microsoft optimized, then maybe PlayStation has to develop a Call of Duty killer, and maybe they actually succeed and make another great game that's just as good as Call of Duty, and then we have two Call of Duty great games out there instead of just Call of Duty. How's that? Does that work?
I mean,
I'm not saying they would or could. Right. I'm just saying
it could happen. Anything could happen.
Anything can happen, and wouldn't that be nice?
I don't know that any gamers right now are looking at the stuff that Activision and Activision Blizzard is putting out and saying, "Oh my God, look at this wide and vast collection of games that just keep coming out." It's like fucking a drip, and it's just sequels for the most part.
It's Call of Duty, it's Diablo.
So I don't think anyone now.
Overwatch.
So do you think gamers now are saying, "Wow, Activision and fucking Blizzard are just fucking killing it right now"? Like they just
right
how
now,
could how could anything be better? Like they just everything that we could want them to be putting out, they're putting out. They only put out the very safe shit that they know they're gonna fucking make maximum dollars on. So that could be a potential upside if Microsoft takes over. Maybe they make more. The collection opens up more. They make more games.
Take more risks.
Take more risks because then right now there's fucking nothing coming out. It's just very.
They released that Skylanders All-In edition that Shipwreck and I want so badly.
I mean, that's hardly innovative, but at least it's something. I mean, but sure, that could be that could be an upside. At K6 writes in and says, if Sony published their exclusives, the ones on PC at least, on Xbox, would things chill the fuck out?
I don't know.
Chill the fuck out? What does that mean?
I don't know. I don't know what that means, and I don't think that would ever happen. So,
yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think these guys are looking to soften their rivalry between each other. They're just obviously Sony would rather not have Microsoft buy Activision, so they're trying to stop them any way they can. I don't think they're making any deals to, to stop that. So there is no chilling the fuck out, basically, ever. Notorious Will G writes in and says, does Microsoft announcing the PS5 Slim and Pro in legal briefs concern Sony or empower them to continue to be dicks? It doesn't matter. I mean, that's the price that Sony pays for putting up this fight, is that they know that things are going to come out during the trial that were previously private. It's just something that, it's not like some retribution here. It's just, this is what happens during legal procedures. I didn't actually hear about this. So I mean, obviously that's not a surprise that Sony's putting out a Slim and Pro model, because they do that with everything. But I didn't hear about that. Any more information on that? Is it going to look like a giant air filter? Because I could buy one. No, it's not going to, Sony's just going to try to stop them. They're not worried about being dicks or being nice. They're just they'll do their best to try to stop it. They probably can't. These things usually almost always go through. And then they'll carry on. And unfortunately, they were dicks. So Microsoft will remember that. And maybe it doesn't even matter. Probably not. All right. I think that's enough show. And we're out of CAGbag questions, and I have nothing else to talk about. We've covered it all. So, I think we've said it all, Wombat, unless you have anything else to add? Anything coming up in the near future that we should look forward to talking about?
Long Island RetroCon is coming up soon.
That's a good point. We should talk about that. liretro.com. That's the weekend of August 11th, I believe. I don't know what day we're doing our thing. I don't think that's been decided yet. But one of those days, we'll be doing our thing. Yes, we will.
I'll be there.
Yes.
Yep. Feel free to bring me weed if you want, as a present, as a treat. Not you guys.
I'll take high fives or Rice Krispie treats.
I thought you were going to say hot dogs.
No, that's gross. You don't want a hot dog that's been in someone's pocket.
Well, what if it's in wrapped in foil and are in a nice thermal cooler?
We'll see. I think Rice Krispie treats travel better.
We'll see. Bring other treats for Wombat that travel well.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. We'll see you next time.
Bread's done.
Maybe next week. I don't know. We haven't discussed it. Sorry. Do that again. Say bread's done again.
Bread's done.